What's up? What's up? Welcome to Conversations with Rico. And yeah, y'all, give me a second. I'm bringing in my guest. This is the Dominique Huff. And you know, we have how we do. Got to work it out. So thank those of you for coming in. There he is already on time. Appreciate you, brother. Welcome, my friend.
Yeah, what's going on, Rico?
What's up? Let me get my little headphones here. I tend to do better when I have my headphones in. And where are they? Damn, I knew I'd say I was already ready. I knew that something was gonna hold me up. Let's see where I put them. I just want to take you. I know it's weird when you going out and shows on, but it's okay. As long as you get into it, right?
Oh yeah, we're back on the Rico River Show for old time's sake.
Say it again.
So we're back on the Rico River Show for old time's sake.
Yeah, man. Like you got a haircut and stuff.
Oh yeah, I got rid of the mohawk. I got rid of the mohawk right before the pandemic, which was kind of ironic. I had the mohawk for 5 years from 2015 up to about February. So I was ready to change it up, do something different.
Okay. Hold on 1 second.
All right, they turn my ringer off. I know knowing my luck, every time I go on the air, somebody want to call me.
Okay, that reminds me of the same thing. I think I have, okay. All right, so, hold on 1 second. I don't know, I just feel better when I know. Okay, how's that? Can you hear me? I just want to make sure I hear you as well.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Off. Okay, cool. So, all right, well, let's get started. How's your day, man?
Long and busy. I mean, we're just in the process of taking things to a whole new level. Very excited about some things that we're working on. Getting ready to really do things on just larger and bigger.
Okay. And so, for those who don't know, I guess we'll start from the beginning, and I guess let everybody know this is Dominique Huff. He is the owner, the founder, the head writer, the publisher of Dominique Magazine, and I guess we can define it as a lifestyle magazine for Black men that discuss politics, education, economics, and we can throw in anti-Black male misandry in there. We can discuss red pill information that's thrown up in there because I've read quite a few of your articles over I guess since the time we met, like what, last year before last, or something like that.
Yeah, so 2018.
Yeah, so I definitely understand the tone in which the articles are written, and so I said I have to have the brother on to for everybody else to get to know who you are and what you're about. So let's start from the beginning. Who are you? Your name, your age, married, kids, where you're from, all that cool stuff.
All right, well, thank you, Rico. Good evening, everyone. My name is Dominique Huff, and I'm 38 years old. I'm from the Atlanta, Georgia area. Born and raised, went to Fulton County Schools, Atlanta City Schools. I studied at Georgia State University and Kennesaw State University. I studied basically public administration with a concentration in economic development. I wrote for my school newspaper, moved up the ranks. I've served as news editor, entertainment editor, editor-in-chief, managing editor, you name it, distribution manager, you name it. I sat in every seat in a newsroom you could think of. I also started my journalism career, kind of dual fold. I did it, with the East Point Neighbors, a now defunct internet magazine back in 2001. Then I did college media from 02 all the way up to about 07. Then in 2006, I got my first quote unquote real job with the Atlanta Story newspaper that I worked with them from September 2006 up to December 2007. Unfortunately, ended up going out of business. At that time, print media suffered a lot of damage at that era. Then I started the Exceptional Radio Network with the late BJ Ellis in April 2007. BJ unfortunately passed in June 2008. Then we ran Exceptional Radio from Black conservative talk to news talk and entertainment until I say October 2012. but I always kept Homebrew News, which is my local online publication. We started in February 2009. We started Dominique Magazine in June 2016. We have a small business publication, ATL Main Street, that we started unofficially earlier this year. We're going to do a lot with that. And then I got a series of podcasts I used to do. Ironically, speaking of Black men, I hosted a Black Men's Talk Show called Brother to Brother from 2009 up to 2012. And we was one of the few Black Men talk shows that was very unique in that we didn't have a bunch of Black women's panelists. It wasn't stereotypical. And I brought different brothers from there would sit down and I would mix it up together. We would talk about a topic and everybody would share their point of views. And we would see who was more alike than we were different, to give everybody a chance to kind of see where things were coming from. So I'm not new to Black male media. So I've definitely been in it before before the Black Manosphere was around, before we see what guys are doing today. I mean, back then it was kind of, we were still in the shadows of Ebony Man and some other failed male publications that we're trying to throw in the gap, because we're told Black men don't read, Black men don't care, Black men are apathetic. Only Black men want is some laugh, some fried chicken, and they're happy. And I think Black men are way more than that. And that's where I'm going to be committed to that cause to the very end. And I have been on things to the bitter end.
Okay. All right. I don't know. I think there may be a little echo or something on your side, or maybe it's the hollowness that I hear in the background. Maybe it's the room. You know how your voices be bouncing off the walls.
Yeah, what I would do, I would want to change rooms actually, because my office here is, I have a concrete wall behind me and a low ceiling. So let me move to the open area because it is Sunday and I can't sit out in the common area and do this without bothering the public.
Okay.
So I'm going to turn this.
So go ahead. We're going to take a minute break so you can readjust, and that's cool. For everybody else still coming on, go ahead and like and share this video. Like, share, share. He'll be back in a moment. We want to make sure we get the sound together. For those of you who are listening to this live broadcast, thank you so much for tuning in to Conversations with Rico. My guest is Dominique Huff of Dominique Magazine, and we will return to the conversation momentarily. We just want to make sure the sound is clear, where you can hear the both of us. And hopefully after I've run a few questions by him, you may have a few questions for him. I'll put the link in the description box. And also mess with me on the Cash App. Black Man Mojo is the Cash App. While you're at it, go to the description box and just read all the way down. You'll see there's various links. There's two ways you can contribute to this live. That is Black Man Mojo and the PayPal. Rico Rivers. We're moving full steam ahead on this particular platform. This is the platform I created where we can have a voice for Black men. And my background is social work with mental health, substance abuse. So we'll kind of be on this particular page, mental health and substance abuse heavy, getting into what makes Black men tick, and that's what you'll be getting for those of you who are new to this channel. And please share the channel. Want everybody to come on in, but everybody can listen. But we know what we're talking about. But I want you to know that we're talking about Black men and Black men's issues. And hey, welcome to Rico the Opinion. This is my channel. I'm having a discussion with the Dominique Huff, who's one of the, believe it or not, one of the heavier voices in what's called the Black Manosphere on YouTube. He has a lot of opinions about a lot of topics, and I'll try to get as many opinions on various topics while he is on. Topics such as anti-Black men misandry, Black men in politics, Black men in conservatism, where they see Black men going in the future as it relates to us as a group. He has written several articles. If you go to DominiqueMagazine.com or DominiqueMagazine.org, you can read a lot of his writings, his contemporary writings, some of the stuff that is probably a couple of years old, but it's still very relevant. So I want to make sure that you don't miss out on this brother that is coming back. He's going to try to get in an area where we can both hear each other. And I hope y'all can hear me loud and clear. I try to work on this each week, do something different, and he is back. How you sound like that, bro?
Testing 1 2 testing. How we sound to everybody?
Okay, that's a lot better.
Yeah, now I'm in the open area of the space. Much the echo doesn't bounce around.
But it wasn't the echo per se, but I can almost hear a little echo on my end. It was more like a surround sound. It was loud, but it was kind of like drowning out your words. But now I think I can hear your words a little better where you are now.
Yeah, no, I like the lighting in here much better too. So,
okay. Yeah, the lighting is better. I need to work the light. I'm about to give me a 100-watt bulb or get one of those LED lights or something to hit my face while I do this thing. Because
a studio light or something that they have to where you can put that on and light that room up. That's one of the reasons why I try to keep an office space, because these fluorescent lights are really good for the cameras. Because when I sit at home and try this, it feels like my name should be Donnie Simpson doing the Quiet Storm video soul, lights on and everything. I said, well, I don't want to sit like that. I'm talking to a group of men, or doing politics. Or talking politics on top of that, when I'm talking about local issues. So I said, let me just sit in a professional place to where I can let the environment kind of match what we're trying to talk about.
Yeah, we'll leave the lighting, the mood lighting to Kevin Samuels. We'll let him.
He does a good job for that. Kevin's definitely. People feel he came out of nowhere. I tell people that Kevin's been around, but Kevin knows what he's doing, and I take my hat off to my brother. Where he's at in a short amount of time. The hustle is real. Like I tell people, y'all got to remember Derek Jackson. I love or hate the guy. He was a nobody until 2016. Then he just blew up. Derek hires some people to help him do what he does. So I just tell brothers that, hey, it costs to be the boss.
You definitely have to put some money into this thing. My man, shout out to my man Tony Davison or TD on YouTube. Check him out. He came to me, and I'd always been thinking about it. He said, "Come on, Rick, man, we have to do it," because he's a huge admirer of other YouTubers, and he's taken upon himself and put his YouTube channel together. And I said, you know what? This brother's grabbed me by the hand, like, "Come on, Rico, man, damn, let's do it." So shout out to my man Anthony Davison. We call him Tony. TDTE. Is it TEEDEE? He's on YouTube. So shout out to the brother for it.
Yeah, shout to all the black YouTubers. They're definitely doing their thing. Shout out to the Black Avenger, our free speech defender. I think that's his name now. He's definitely doing his thing as well, trying to create that platform. And creating a streaming platform, as I tell people, he's had his fair share of problems. He's a startup. Startups are going to have problems. That's discussable territory. And I think, once he gets the bugs worked out of it, figure out what he wants to do with it, I think that's going to be a very good platform. I remember when the conservatives had Tea Party community in 2012, when they got tired of the censorship on Facebook. They went over there, then it came and went. That thing went through several owners. I'm not sure where Tea Party community is at now. But, I commend anybody that say, I'm not going to complain about the problem. I want to create a solution. That's what we need.
Well, thank goodness for social media, which has allowed so many voices for black men. Because as well as I know, you're younger than me, but you're aware that there weren't that many voices or platforms where black men can actually come on and discuss whatever it is was on our minds without any type of interruptions. We don't have the Sally Jessies and the Oprahs and Phil Donahue. To his credit, Phil Donahue made space for a lot of important black male voices. I have to give it to Phil Donahue, white guy, but those others, if they want to talk about us, they wouldn't talk to us, and they brought black women on to talk about us. So that brings me to my first question. You kind of alluded to it earlier, but my question is, why Dominique Magazine? Why Dominique?
Well, because when I see a lot of black male publications or black male media, There's a publication called Black Men Magazine, which is nothing but a picture book of women. And I'm all for looking at pretty women, but at the same time, there's no substance in there. Some people say, well, that's like going to Playboy looking for political commentary or life advice, but it's called Playboy. That's the brand of it. You don't have a magazine called White Men that has a bunch of naked women in there. Yeah. But it says Black Men.
On the cover, yeah.
And people just think, oh, well, you're looking too deep in there. I said, well, show me a magazine that has another ethnic group's name in the title, and it has that type of content, say Black Entertainment Television. Well, we know that's a whole separate conversation. But the reason why we did that is because we did not have a space that I felt was conducive for what the messages needed to be out there. You know, there was nobody speaking about our health. There was nobody speaking about our wealth. There was nobody highlighting the good work brothers are doing. There was nobody really putting out the research that's going on, talking about politics, economics, careers, current events, you know, a little bit of hodgepodge of everything just for us. Women have all of this stuff. And, you got Battle War, you got Clutch, you got Essence. We can go through the whole list of even just mainstream women publications. But for Black men, nothing really. And we got YouTube, and you got the Manosphere space. But, people are not going to always listen to an hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, 8 hour podcasts. And there's nothing wrong with the guys. No hate towards the guys that do that. That's a whole audience that will just listen more than they read. Because I would have some of them that would say, well, people are just not going to read a 2,000-3,000 word article. And I said, well, people are not going to listen to a 3 hour broadcast either. So we have to give them a variety. Black men need variety. And so therefore, we want to put this content out there for not only thinking Black men, but mature Black men. Yes, I understand that issues with women are going to exist, and we dibble and dabble in that. But there are so many Black men's outlets that talk about that to the point it's really just a played out topic. We have talked about the issues of the Black woman so much that I really feel we're starting to repeat ourselves now. We're starting to hit reset.
People are stumbling over each other.
Right. And now you got guys that used to say all this stuff, but now they want to have a reconciliation moment with Black women. Or, they were dating non-Black women, but now all of a sudden the blacker the beard, the sweeter the juice. So I noticed that there's some clout chasing going on with some brothers. There's some following the money, following the ratings. And in this business, you've got to kind of do a little bit of that. So that's not lost on me. But the reason why we did that, because Black men is in a place where we can have serious conversations about the serious issues. And that's what Dominique Magazine is for. We're unapologetic about that. And we cater to Black men of a variety of persuasions. I got the single brothers. I got the married brothers. I got the baby daddies, as they don't like to use that word. I got the brothers who got Black women. I got the brothers who got a Black woman, blue collar, white collar, no collar, college educated, 10th grade education, PhD. I wanted something where I could bring all of these Black men together on shared interests to where we can talk a lot about where we're going, where we're headed, and have that conversation, create that dialogue to where, we'll vent, we'll get educated, we'll get informed, we'll get empowered, and we'll take some action. So that's why we do what we do.
So I want to ask you, because you brought up all those various topics I want to ask your opinion on. And the first one I want to go into is Black men and politics. Now, I don't know if you've noticed or not, but in the last few weeks, there's been this big push from the liberal left or the Democratic Party to all of a sudden reach out to Black male voters. And I don't know about you, but it has not been my experience the Democratic Party has ever reached out to Black men for anything except for Black women to tell us or encourage us to vote Democrat. Have you noticed that? And what do you think about this latest, I call it the last minute trend?
Good question. I'm a libertarian more than anything.
Okay,
slightly Republican. There's some issues I am liberal on. I'm not a Democrat. So I say that to preface my commentary, because it's not really favorable of the Democratic Party. And I think when you look at Black voting numbers, and I look at the data, women outvote men in all cohorts. So to say there's a crisis of black men not voting is bullshit. Okay. Because women, I think this happened back in the mid-60s, where women and men were neck and neck with the voting. Then we just saw in the 60s, the women just started getting the lead, and we just never caught up as men collectively. And I'm just not talking about this black men, I'm talking about all men that they count in the census data. And last I checked, I think 10.1 million black women voted in a federal election compared to almost 7.4 to 7.7 black men. So that gap is not as large as people think it is. People act like, oh, 10 million black women, 1 million black men, that's a problem. But this started in 2018, where Stacey Abrams in Georgia, where I'm currently residing, and Andrew Gillum in Florida both had razor-thin defeats. And black men were blamed for that. Black men were also blamed in 2016 for Hillary Clinton's defeat to Donald Trump. Now, everybody courts other groups with tangibles, with dignity, with respect. Yes. Black men, so this vote Democrat, you know you gotta vote Democrat, fuck you, you don't, yada, yada, yada. You're just sexist misogynist, and you're trying to scare us as we're a bunch of criminals, and we need First Step Act, we need this, we need that, and I think it's very insulting. Yeah. Because nobody else has ever been demeaned or degraded as black men. Or I think black people collectively have been that when it comes to the Democratic Party. But I think when I start seeing these hit pieces where you're talking about we got to address sexism in the black community, black men don't want a black woman in there. But remember, Kamala Harris, however she says her name, in 2019, Kamala, in 2019, y'all were saying fuck her. Yeah. Y'all were saying, oh, she don't need to be president. She's an Indian. She's not black. But now that a white man has validated her, now all of a sudden, she's black. She has an AKA. She went to a HBCU. We had to get behind her. And what this is Tariq Nasheed once said, this is this little bit of political silliness. And he coined this term back in 2015. Yeah. And I think a lot of black folks are politically silly. They're really disgruntled Democrats. That's what they really are. You're going to beg and plead and whine with the Democratic Party to do what you say, even though you vote for them 90+% in every election. There is no incentive for Democrats to do anything. Now, given Tariq Nasheed his due in 2018, he mentioned, Tariq said, we're never going to get black folks to vote Republican. That's why I don't even entertain that notion. So I have to deal with reality. Now, somebody else supposed to push that narrative and convince black folks, be my guest, I'll bring you on the show. You can make a good case. But he said, don't vote. Withhold the vote. Even I've seen a woman here, I think her name is Tamara Sheila Johnson, here in Georgia, called withhold the vote. So when I look at these whole things, people are saying black folks are just not going to lead the Democratic Party when we can't withhold our vote to make the Democrats come and negotiate with us. And I think black men have to start looking at what do we want as a collective. Not what do black women want, not what do black people want, but what do black men want. Okay. When I'm hearing about, I ain't getting married, okay? Divorce laws are an issue. We know that 70% of divorces are initiated by women. Yeah. We know that the number one cause of divorce is not infidelity, it is money. We also know that parental alienation and child support are issues among men. Yeah. If I see white men and Asian men go to the streets to deal with this issue, yes, there are black men out there. I'm not going to say there are not.
Not enough.
Not enough. You would think as much as these black folks, these black men bitch about their baby mamas, we would be on the front lines. Yeah. We love to say, oh, we started Midtown. Oh, Midtown was us, yada, yada, yada. Even though we know back in the 70s, a lot of black men did walk away from their families because they could not support them. It wasn't like they got thrown out the home. There was issues where we did not have the jobs. There was business gentrification, as I coined it, where the companies were leaving the inner cities. Black men couldn't get the jobs. So we had a lot of issues back then. That's just a gloss over that. But to keep it in this question, we have to look at what is there for us with economics. What is there for us with criminal justice reform? What is there with us with family court reform? What is that with us with juvenile justice reform? Yeah. These are the issues that I didn't hear black men having more of beyond weed, beyond the bitch twerking, beyond what some misandrous bitch said on Facebook that I don't give a fuck about. This is the stuff that I need brothers to talk about, but you say nothing changes, but then you're walking around here scared of Donald Trump.
and it start right there. That's that right there is the weirdest thing to me. Because I was about to ask you about. I want to ask you right there since you alluded to it. Black men and conservatism. Why is it that so many black men, when they hear the word conservatism, it's almost like hot sauce in their mouth or bitter taste in their mouth when they hear the word conservatism? When historically, the black community
is conservative. That we don't want to admit that, but we are. Black folks as a collective are naturally conservative. We are very religious. Look at it. We have more churches and storefronts and former grocery stores and drug stores and retail stores and church. We're all like, go to any black neighborhood on Sunday, everybody gonna be in church. Black folks don't like these. They support the blue laws. They're not really keen on homosexuality. There are some conservative tendencies that black folks still on. Most black folks lean towards religiosity. So by that nature, that we are great candidates for conservatism as a collective. But we have allowed the white racists and white supremacy to define what conservative is. We think it's just some white guy with a beard belly waving the American flag around talking about some my country Jezebel, where we have to look at what do we really believe in. And like, hell, in truth be told, black folks ain't really down with that race message either. Because when you talk about Crystal Caroline swirling movement and SYSBM, you see black people, you want to mess with them white girls and Asian girls. So there's some things we are conservative on. I just think we just don't want to face the music because we're not really that liberal when you think about it.
Mm-hmm. And it goes back to the historical context in which, which we began. You mentioned religious. You would think we're religious. That is conservatism in itself. It's funny to me when I hear, when I look at the white conservatism, they have particular things in place. The man is the head. The woman supports him. They have man, woman, and children in the household. Conservative whites or the white Christian wing of the conservative party don't play that. But the Christian blacks seem to have been bullied by LGBT stuff and out of wedlock birth mess and single motherhood. So is there a difference in the belief or something? Maybe you can fill in the blank as relates to, they both claim to be Christians, but the whites seem to have a conservative part. The blacks seem to, the black
remix.
Huh?
The blacks have a remix of it. We got the remix.
It's like, hell, I would be more religious if I thought it would have those particular boundaries set. But hell, these Christian blacks, man, they got all kinds of leeway. Just, I guess, to ask God to forgive you. That seems to be the only thing they have to do.
But church is a hustle for many people. And I think a lot of people are pimping black folks in their religious beliefs to create fraudulent churches. I don't have enough data to throw out stats or research on that. That's just my personal belief. But I see a lot of these storefront churches that have allowed, misinterpretation of the Bible. The family now is a single mother with bastard children. I think it becomes now just motivational speaking versus religiosity. That's why I look at a lot of these churches, and I think, our white counterparts are very unwavering with that. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some liberal white churches out there. There's always be liberal churches. And a lot of liberal whites even are more atheists or agnostic when you look at their beliefs. They're not really into Christianity like that. And I think when you look at the secularization of America, a lot more whites are kind of backing away from the church a little bit. Because a lot of them were the first to be proud to be atheists. When you were black and atheists, you were the black sheep. So there's a lot of things I think that we have that hurts us as black people, which is group think. We gotta be a Democrat, gotta be a Christian, gotta be a matriarchal, you gotta be this, you gotta be that. And I think we have allowed blackness to become so antiquated and rigid to where we're just holding on to beliefs that we have outgrown as a collective. When it comes to the single motherhood issue, we reward the behavior. Yeah. Like the Dusty Dude behavior, it is rewarded. The reason why this fuckery continues, there is no incentive for it to stop.
Well,
If there was an incentive for it to stop, I guarantee you it would stop. The case of the dusty dude, the scrub. He is somebody's daddy.
yeah, a lot of them are somebody's dad.
They are fathers.
Because 51% of guys,
Really,
51% of my black men don't have to. 51%.
right. 51% don't. But we got to look at the state that says 60% of black women with multiple children had them by multiple fathers.
Those same dudes. Those same 20 and 30%. Yeah.
Yeah, that 49%. A part of it is our married men. The other part just baby daddies.
Do you address this? And I want to ask this. Do you address this in Dominique Magazine?
Yeah, we're going to start to address that more further. I talked a lot about interracial dating a lot with that stat to really break that down, because there was a bullshit study that was so debunked, it got ran off the internet. You cannot find it nowhere anymore. That stated that the black man and the white woman have the biggest fail rate in marriages. And folks just had a field day with that study. But somebody who has my academic pedigree recognized, okay, who funded this study? How many people did we look at? Was this a longitudinal study? How did we select these people? Were these people self-selected? You know, there were so many questions when I saw that bullshit data that I could not get answered, to the point I just threw it out the window. Now, granted, we're not going to have 1 million couples. Now, even if you had 5,000, 10,000, I could have worked with you. So we looked at 10,000 couples in 3 major cities across the southern U.S. and looked at interracial, same race, same sex, however they did it. But you took 100 couples. Yeah. That's that other bullshit study. 60% of black women are molested before the age of 18. Okay. They had that on the internet too, but everybody still says that talking point. Did you know that only 300 girls self-selected took that survey?
Okay.
So 60% of that 300 black girls were molested, and I'm not making light of their trauma before the age of 18, but now we may, oh my God, it's a crisis. Yeah. This is manufactured stuff. So when I look at these studies, like the 2018 study we broke down, black men doing well in America, and everybody was so quick to debunk that, including the other black men. Yeah, we are doing okay. We could be doing better. But black men have accepted the narrative, this is what I'm fighting, that we're fucked up. Yeah. That we have some issues. Truth be told, shout out to Dr. T. Hassan Johnson. We read Dr. Tommy Curry, and I forgot the other brother. He's a
Ron O'Neill.
Dr. Ron O'Neill, you got him. Yeah, Dr. Theodore Ransom. I interviewed Theodore in 2018. I want to get Ron Letts, talk to T. Hassan on a regular basis. I even featured Tommy Curry in the magazine a couple of times. And one thing that Dr. T. Hassan Johnson said on Obsidian Media Network show on YouTube that stuck with me 2 years ago to this day, we do not have a comprehensive data set on black men in America. Yes. A lot of the research we're getting is contradictory towards each other because it's not the same data sets, not the same researchers, it's piece building. We just don't know where we stand at, but we'd rather take the negative stuff that we hear in shea butter black media on the internet and say, oh, black men are so fucked up, what have you. But I'm trying to do a study and I want to compile all that research. First, let's take everything that's out there. This is something that we are working on behind the scenes. Let's take all that data that we got. Let's put it side by side so we at least have a starting point of where we're at. Take blackdemographics.com, which is done a good job. Take some of that. Then we look at, okay, now we can go out to some funding to look at this on an academic level. I'm trying to be appointed and knock on wood, to the Commission for the Study of Black Men and Black Boys in America. I want to email all.
Hold on a minute. Oh, where's that? Hold on. Where's that position? Under whose administration that position being offered, or is it?
That commission was recently passed now, and this was done by a congresswoman out of Texas. So the president's going to appoint somebody. This is President Donald Trump. He's going to appoint somebody. The Congressional Black Caucus is going to appoint some people. Some of the department heads of federal agencies will have to sit on this committee to where we begin to look at the state of black men and black boys in America.
All right there. Is that the one? Now, is that the article that I just had on my page? The Congressional Black Caucus just passed a bill, I guess, through the House to go through the Senate or draft or something.
It's already passed.
The social status on black males.
Yeah, that's already passed. It's signed by the president. It is law. It's an official resolution now.
Well, I know. I was. Well, let me say this, and I said I was. If you're gonna read my post, I'm a huge critic of it, not of the bill itself. Let me clarify. But it's like, for me, I looked at it as, here they go. The CBC trying to do something for black men at the last minute when they had 8 years on Obama, the first 3 years under this president, 8 years under Clinton. And I was saying, we already know black men are fucked up. We already know the statuses. So I did criticize it. I criticized what I think, not the study, but the nerve of the CBC. If it goes through and they get the right people on the commission, and actually there's some meat behind it, there's some teeth in it, I'm with it. But I criticize it as an effort for them to try to curry favor with the black male populace, and I'm sick of that kind of pandering.
I'm sick of that too. And I think we have to get our hands on that committee. Okay. And really keep an eye on that. And I'm going to commit my media outlet. We're going to follow that committee. Okay. And, and I would like to go to some of those meetings in person if I'm not appointed. But again, I'm going to be writing my letter this week and send up to everybody who gets to appoint somebody. And I want to make you recommend Dr. T. Hassan Johnson needs to be on that committee, Dr. Ronald Neal, and it needs somebody in the black masculinist movement. So even if y'all don't want little old Dominic Huff, I'm not going to cry, but I am going to follow because I want to read this report. I'm going to issue my recommendations, and I think every black man that has issues, this is where I need guys to do more of. If we got time to go to that bitch Aisha B's page to about shit that she's saying about black men, which I don't give a fuck about Aisha B. I don't care if she lives or dies. And I don't care if she tell her I thought that bitch 5 years ago.
Who is that?
There's some little misandrous feminist chick and that guys. A lot of these guys find these misandrous bitches cute. That's why they share the screenshots of their fuckery. They're like, oh my God, can you believe she said that? You think the bitch is cute. That's what it is. So you rather argue with these misandrous bitches because you think the bitch is cute. Just admit it. Y'all think these hoes are cute.
Well, let's hold on a minute. Because I want to get to, when I deal with, and I guess the purpose of my platform is to get into what you just said. Let's understand the thinking of black men and express the foundation that motivates this behavior.
Right.
And you brought the word misandry 4 times. I want to get to that because my question is, and don't lose the misandry thought. Why don't black men read the research or even what I call the simple statistics on us? Let me give you 2 places. You mentioned one, black. What's that damn thing? Because I've gone
BlackDemographics.com.
BlackDemographics.com. That's easy for black dudes to read. The Center for Disease. The Centers for Disease, CDC in Atlanta, they have stats on black men, black fatherhood that are very favorable to black men, but black men as a collective won't go and read these stats. The Pew Institute of Research, Pew Institute, great research and statistics on black men. And I guess my motivation is to try to push black men, read up on yourself and stop letting other people dictate you. Because there's 3 Bible resources that they can go and probably get all of the numbers about black men and use those as responses to those negative talking points. But black men as a collective, because what you just hit on was going deeper into the collective of black men. And I think the red pill thing and the word misandry, because black men didn't even know that word existed until the last 3 years. Hell, I didn't.
This 5 years.
Yeah, I didn't hear about it until I think I heard Dr. Hassan mention misandry. I said misandry, and I had to go and look it up. I said, "Damn, we have a counter word to misogyny," and that I'm learning. Just like those of you who are in on it, I'm still learning stuff. Even though I've been talking about black men, but I know the conversation and the language has evolved and it's changing, and I'm trying to keep up with the way it's changing in as it relates to being in favor of black men and black boys. So misandry, let's go into that. Misandry, and I want us to be clear about what misandry. Do you have a definite concrete definition of what misandry is?
Yeah, misandry is simply the hatred of men. Okay. And there are a lot of women who brag about being misandrous, which is the irony of it, because their society allows them to get away with it. You have men who are misandrous. So all it is simple hatred of men. Okay. To say misogyny is the hatred of women. There's a difference between being a misogynist / misandrous and being sexist.
Yes.
That's clear. Let's get that air clear, folks. You can be a sexist misogynist or a sexist misandrous, but you cannot say they're one and the same.
Right.
When you're sexist, you just believe your gender is inferior, is superior to the other gender. Right. So you often hear that referred to how a lot of women say men are sexist because you have that little, they think they're above us and we're beneath them. And now you got a lot of women that have that mindset. Now, some people will say, well, women don't have the power to discriminate against men. There's not been systems in place to push men out and all that. I said, well, that may be true for white men, but that's definitely not true for black men. Because every time black men create something or somebody creates something for black men, here comes the whole, what about us? What about us? What about us? Yeah. Now, can you imagine if there was something created for black women? And I know this, but that does happen to like them. There's these simps that go to Madame Noir, For Harriet, Clutch, and all those platforms that says, why don't we all do something for black men? What about us? And the first thing those misandrous women tell them, go build it yourself. Y'all done build nothing for us, so we build it for ourselves, looking out for us. And here y'all are over here on our platform begging about y'all. But y'all better argue with us, but y'all will go argue with white men.
Yeah,
boys, they say. And I collect all this data because it just lets me know how it's all circular with no rhyme or reason, and there's no logic or sound evidence behind a lot of these claims. So when I use the word misandry, it is the hatred of men. You can have women who take their personal narrative, because they was a sexual assault victim, the father of their children left them, they have daddy issues, if that sounds cliche. They have a lot of unresolved trauma that involved a man or men in their lives. And the same thing can be said about a man who's misandrous. They got unresolved male trauma. So now you walk around with all this pent-up rage in you when it comes to other men. And that's what we call an anti-black male misandrous. Shout out to Dr. T. Dunn Johnson, where that's a whole different category. Because you have a lot of black men who are very anti-black male misandrous. Because they grew up around a lot of feminine energy. They grew up around a lot of estrogen. You grew up around a lot of women who had issues with men, who talk about men all the time in a negative way, who took out their frustration with men out on you. We have that shows that black mothers are very abusive towards black children.
Okay.
Yeah, so me, I bring now, of course, I don't have my sources, but if I had a little bit more time to prep, I would give sources. I know you probably have somebody to order. Well, where's your source? Where's your source? Where's your source? So I want to start making sure that I have my sources when I give information, because sometimes I say this because you can Google it. Right. Yeah. So you got places to look for it. Just like when I wrote a piece in 2017. This was like January. There was a State Farm commercial that came out in Super Bowl 2017 called "Protect the Bling." Now bling is a black person's term, black slang. And there was a picture of a black guy with an attractive white woman called "Protect the Bling," and they call that boy all sorts of, that man, he's a man. That man, all sorts of names. And you had black people, black women, co-sign that white supremacist stuff. But what is a black woman, white man is, and look at that, that's so cute.
They're going to have the cutest children.
They're going to have the cutest children, and yet y'all want to talk about black men are colorless.
Yeah.
But y'all talk about, I remember, I got to give a shout to Dennis Sterling as well. You know, he's doing a lot of good work too. So I look at that. But then we want to talk about colorism. I said, well, wasn't y'all the ones making fun of shopping ranks and seal back in the day? And dark-skinned brothers that used the term African booty scratcher? And you so glad when the cops shoot at you, they got to go back and get flashlights with the bullets? See how soon we forget those things. But once again, you want to flip it to say these are all black men because black men have allowed this to go on unchecked. And that's where I'm dealing with. That's why I share a lot of posts in the groups from my phone and all that, because I want black men to start using their heads and start thinking. I don't like.
Are you trying to direct them into what is called now is red pill thinking? And when you answer that, give us a little brief definition of what you believe or understand red pill thinking is.
All right, well, I'm more into black masculinity speaking. And I use what I'm looking at is I focus a lot on our cohort, but I also include other men when I speak in general. When I'm in platforms that are more diverse, where I look at, okay, that's talking about issues that we have collectively with society as men. But when I want black men, I want us to talk about more in depth with our issues. Now, when it comes to red pill thinking, you know, the red pill to me has many phases. It's a rude awakening that you're going to see reality for what it is. Yeah. And that's going to shock the shit out of many people. And I tell people the minute you realize that life is not a Tyler Perry movie, life is not a Walt Disney movie, life is not a sitcom, the better off you will be. The longer you refuse to swallow that pill, the harder it's going to be when you swallow it. Because you look at, you was taught to be a good little boy, you was taught to eat your vegetables and respect women and walk around with a little rose, a little lame kid and all this type of stuff. And I'm not saying that stuff is bad, but too many men were raised on thinking that basic shit is going to impress a woman. Yeah. And it doesn't. It really doesn't. I mean, women like charisma. They like character. I like to use the word swag. Yeah. And they can read right through when you're just doing something very scripted. And a lot of guys get very scripted when it comes to women with the pickup lines and doing what some woman told them to do. And that's why they have a high fail rate, just like a lot of women are very scripted when it comes to men. Men, we like femininity. We like personality as well. But again, a lot of y'all just act like somebody who you're not. So I would say with men, yes, we have to look at the reality of it. We call it red pill thinking, but a lot of times I think a lot of us are in red pill rage because we're still frustrated and angry with women. Because I would think all the time that you spend all day arguing with women is the time you can spend doing something else more productive. Okay. I've seen threads with 600 to 700 replies. And I did not even read those replies. Where you are in these co-ed groups arguing back and where you got men and women that's arguing all day about bullshit.
Let's go right there. Hold up right there. Because you took me to a place when you mentioned Derek Jackson. You can mention we can mention other. You mentioned Donovan Sharp. You can mention Minister Jap. You can mention all this. Derek Jackson, not put him in the same category as those other fellas I named, YouTubers. No, but thing is, I want to bring up the word monetization. The monetization of genderism and separatism. And even, believe it or not, what you do and I do, the great scholars that our contemporary scholars, be it Tommy Curry and Dr. Tiasan and all of, there's a monetization to what we are doing. You believe that? There's a monetization to it.
Yeah, I mean, we all do have monetary motives. But, I mean, I think, that I think we need to be transparent about that, which, I mean, a man should get paid for his craft. I have no problem with these dudes doing that on YouTube, the Cash Apps, the PayPal, and the Patreons, because they're trying to monetize the audience, especially when you have a audience, when you're doing content. That's what I call, this is the product, the media professional be coming out now. Some of that content, some of these guys are doing is not commercial friendly. They would never get an advertiser or sponsor around that stuff. So now you have to get the audience to pay for like public broadcasting. Because public broadcasting did that for the simple fact of we're not beholden to corporate interests. We're not beholden to the advertisers. We can be free and clear, but they're not. but and that's what it was intended to be, to where now the public can pay for the content that they want to have. And, you know, when I look at the Donovans, the Obsidians, the O'Sheas, the Minister Jams, and we can go through the list of these brother making contents, they basically, what they're, and Kevin Samuels, their audience that is paying is dictating the content as they should. Because if they're getting, I don't know how much money these guys are getting for the podcast, a week, month, a year, that's their business. But if the audience who is paying them wants to hear that content, they are it's supply and demand. It is simple economics.
I brought that up because I think let me take Derek Jackson out of it, because even though I'm not knocking his hustle.
Yeah, Derek just troubles. I mean, that's a whole different ballgame. He's there for books and stuff like that.
I'm saying this. I brought up T. Hassan, and I brought up Dr. Tommy Curry. I brought up Kevin, and I brought up you know, you can bring up Abyssinian and Donovan and even Minister Jap. I brought them up because I'll even throw up Tom Likas. Even I like Tommy Sotomayor. Because everybody I mentioned, you can take something from them, learn something from them. And I mentioned all of these guys because I wish that they were the ones making the top dollar from the audience they're trying to reach, which is men, in a lot of cases, Black men. And so it leads me to this. What is it about us not really willing to pay for what we need, as opposed to always tending to pay? You know, we beg for what we need, but we pay for what we want. How come in Black men in our circle, we'll go out and buy Jordans, we'll buy rims, we'll buy pussy, we'll buy everything else, but these guys that we mentioned, these learned and scholar guys, and guys who got the street game down, got the corporate hustle game down, who are really there to actually lift up and bring up, how come they aren't lifted up by these 20-some million Black men so well that all of a sudden they're being interviewed on Good Morning America or the Today Show? Why is it that these guys, and in the future, you and me, because I know why I'm here, and there's a couple of other brothers, and Dennis, Dennis Spurley, why, they have their audience, but in my head, I think those guys should have Black men in the millions. I know they're getting there, but at least nobody should have none less than 500,000 subscribers and all the guys that I have, that I mentioned. Do you agree with that?
I agree. And I think, there's enough interest and desires to where the content creators can definitely carve their own lane. That's why I don't get down with these beefs, because I think Black men are not a monolith. I mean, we're going to have different thoughts and different views, and that's fine. I mean, and we should embrace that diversity among ourselves.
Yeah.
When it comes to that, a lot of brothers are governed by the spirit of tricking. Shout out to David W. Williams with that one from Lost Game. And the spirit of tricking is, okay, you would rather go out here, you talk about, oh, bitch got her OnlyFans, oh, that hoe got her Cash App on her profile, oh, she doing this and that. But guess what? I'm economics. Okay. Somebody is giving that broad some money. Yeah, because if she wasn't getting the money, then those links would not be there. That's just being totally honest. So I think a lot of these brothers are creating the very women they complain about. You give them that money and all that because you think she cute, spirit of tricking. Then you come over here to our space. Oh, that bitch did. Oh, that bitch did. So screenshot your Cash App for me, please. I want to see something. Let me see the last 10 people you gave a Cash App to today, or at least this week. Because what I want to do, I want to match it to some of these chicks I know that have Cash App. If I see it there, I will tell you are full of shit. I don't care if you give her $1. Yeah. That's $1 you can put into yourself. You can put in the savings file here. I brought some penny stocks. So, but you're so caught up in, I'm a victim. It's so hard. It's so hard. Why hear the feminists go off? Sometimes I hate to say it, some shit I'm like, damn, I hate to give y'all bras some credit, but y'all right. And and on the flip side, there's some women that came to me behind closed doors and stuff that admit I was right about some things when it comes to women. So
Right.
I think part of maturity is admitting the fuckery in our own cohort. But we have
that's why I want to get you on that, because
yeah.
you're taking me to where how I operate. Now I have to admit I was doing that kind of back and forth when I was really saying, yeah, you know what, they do a lot of fuck shit, but I'm so far beyond that. I'm about where I guess the intellectual guys who are trying to direct black men into doing work for themselves and not be concerned about what women do. This is what I say. I'd say to guys, don't be mad at women. If you know about them, I do this. I said, if you got a 4-year-old daughter or a 4-year-old niece, that's the same person when she turned 14, 24, 34, 44, 54. She loves you as long as you're saying yes and giving her whatever she wants. As soon as you say no, you got a fool on your hands. And so when guys learn this, they wouldn't be so mad at women's behavior. Number two, maybe it's me as an older guy now at 51, but I don't take women seriously like that for me to be online arguing back and forth or mad at them. Even if I put up a post that doesn't appear to be very favorable, but it's factual about women, I don't go back and forth too much because I'll say argue with the post. But we have guys, you're right, they go back and forth. And so this whole thing about you said that they're creating, a lot of guys are creating the women that they complain about. We said this about women in the so-called non-chivalrous guys and the thugs and all of that. Because you say y'all stop fucking all the thugs, you would have these issues. And finally, back to single motherhood. I put a post on my page that says, guys, let's stop creating baby mamas and create more wives. Or how about this? This is what I said. In 2020, 2021, let's start impregnating your wives. And that in itself seems to go over some guys' head. Impregnate your wife. Why does that sound like a hard concept?
Well, you remember Crystal and Karazine tried no wedding, no womb. She started that movement
For the women?
for the women, was saying if he's not gonna give you a wedding, why are you giving him your womb? So she was saying, so I've seen a lot of women was pushing that, and a lot of guys were laughing and kikiing and stuff. And then you got guys who say, I asked, where's your wife at when I see all these what real men do, but you want to let you, but you're unmarried or you're a baby daddy. And your child don't live with you, it lives with the kid's mama. So certain men, you have nothing to talk about. So with that being said, I think a lot of guys and a lot of women, plus this platform is for men, I want to speak more to women. Not women, excuse me, more to men. Because I tell people, I'm not here for the women do it too. Well, about them, this is all male audience for the most part. So I mean, y'all want to talk about that, y'all let the women, the guys from here. Anywho, a lot of these guys, they want the goodies.
Yeah, and why
as much as they hate the song, wow.
A lot of them don't hate it like that. No, and that's a whole nother thing. Put a pin in that. I'm gonna come back. Now I'm not sure what's going on. I have to check it out. It says someone says my connection has been off, but I'll fix it afterwards. Yes. And so my thing is, damn. Shout out to Mimi.
Mimi, I like that name.
Yeah. So I what I was going to go with that is a lot of things that are happening as it relates to black men's behavior. A lot of things are happening to us, things that we complain about, or I think it can be solved with self-awareness and discipline. And I'm really serious about the whole single mother thing. It's very interesting that guys complain about the child support system. They complain how it's taking all their money, but the easiest thing for you to do, sir, is not stick your raw penis in a woman who's not your wife in 2020. Now, I get on the women all the time and say, hey, he can't get no pussy without permission. Y'all got 13 forms of birth control. But then they'll say, well, he makes a choice. you're right, but also, so having sex with you is a punishment. So I can go back and forth with the bullshit, but that little piece is correct. We have to convince our guys to stop choosing to run up and chicks raw and then turn around and not only one female pregnant, but these jackasses get multiple women pregnant, then have the nerve to complain about child support. That's where I'm
And
going.
then you want to blame a woman for getting pregnant, but you didn't want to wear a condom, sir.
Yeah,
You feel so you want to guard your sperm. That's why I love Jay Norman, shout out to him, of guard your seed. You don't want to guard your seed, then you want to get mad when she carries a baby to term that you put up inside her. See, we have to take some accountability and responsibility as men. Because now we're starting to act like the women that we complain about. No accountability, blaming it on other people, this and the third, don't want to step up, don't want to do right. But we have to look at, okay, you out here having unprotected sex. What do you think is going to happen? I don't care if she said she was on the pill, she had a piece of plastic in her vagina, or what have you. You still, sir, should have took the steps to protect yourself. Yeah. That's like me, if I'm going to what's the word I'm looking for? If I'm going to go to a restaurant, I'm going to look at how clean the floor is while I walk in there. I will look at the presentation of the restaurant. I will look at your health score. If you have a 70 health score and the restaurant is dirty, and I choose to eat a meal in this restaurant and I get sick, I cannot fully blame the restaurant because I chose to continue to engage despite all the red flags.
Yeah.
I chose that. So I have to take some accountability too. I could have went to another restaurant. But I want to be dumb and say, oh, I'm going to eat here. Ain't nobody going to tell me nothing. I'm going to eat what I want to when I want to. It's like we're told about high cholesterol, high blood pressure, diabetes, but yet, you still throwing a bucket of salt in your food. You're still putting a whole bag of sugar in your sweet tea. But then you want to talk about diabetes and healthcare and all of this type of stuff. We have to get to the point we have to take some accountability, personal responsibility. But nobody wants to do that. But yet you want to blame everybody else. It's white folk fault. It's white women fault. It's they fault. It's this fault. I said, you sound like the brawls you don't like.
Or the ones, and I'm real big on that. Self accountability. A lot of stuff can be prevented with self control and self awareness, and that's where I am personally. When I write in my articles or I put on the Facebook, I'm always challenging the men, dude. There's a lot of stuff you could be doing, but if you can't control your penis, if you can't control your sexual appetite or redefine sexuality, is it a need or is just a lustful want out of control? Because a lot of guys believe that fucking all the time has something to do with the promotion of their manhood. I guess that goes into that hypersexuality or that toxic masculinity. I don't know. But that's the stuff that I'm on trying to teach guys, that it is not your penis that's the pathway to manhood, but what's up here and here. Because a lot of them are allowing their penis to lead them into debt or to death. So that's what I teach young men. And with that, let me go back to, I want to get too far, and I appreciate your thoughts on that particular subject there of men responsibility and accountability. But I want to go to this piece right here with the George Floyd, with the Ahmaud Arbery, now with the Jacob Blake, and we can go to both sides on that. But this is what I'm seeing. I'm not seeing enough of. Is it me, or black men don't seem to be out front when stuff is happening to us? When it comes to the whole police shooting, am I tripping, or is it other people who are like they're sticking up for black men? I'm not. We don't have to get into their motive, because we know the motive for why they're doing it ain't shit. It's just what we see the image of it is, why aren't there heterosexual masculine black men out front, particularly when the George Floyd thing popped off? Hell, when all of them popped off. Where are black men when the police shoot us? Where the hell cap out? Where the black Greeks? Where the Hebrew Israelites? Where the Fruit of Islam? Where the 100 Black Men of America? Where are these damn men? Where are the so-called conscious pro-black brothers? Why aren't we out in hundreds of thousands saying no more? This shit is done today.
I'll give my controversial take on that, to be honest.
Okay.
What happened to those men is very unfortunate. I'm going to start out with that. I don't believe punishment by death at a traffic stop or when I encounter a police officer when I look at these men's rap sheets. Because what I'm tired of is you're taking criminal black men and saying this is all black men. I agree with Candace Owens on that one. You know, when I look at this Rico case here in Clayton County, Georgia, the suburbs, literally south of my office in the other part of College Park, the Clayton County area of it. And I look at it, once again, it's another guy with a fucking rap sheet. Mm-hmm. You know, you want to pop off with these cops. See, you always want, I ain't never scared, but you get your ass kicked. He put my he hurt me, he threw me in jail. But you see, once again, you act like a little woman. Always all that neck rolling, all that type of stuff. Being no neck roll. Always neck rolling. All this.
Yeah.
That's why these cases, you want to pop off at that mouth. Everybody ain't other black people. Even other black cops ain't putting up that shit. Now, again, I am not just saying what has happened because because I tell people, I see a hurricane type man that was on his way to church or an outstanding brother that was out there doing something. People say, oh, that's respectability politics. But yeah, y'all talking about Pookie and Ray Ray taking all the women. Which is it, fellas? Come on now. First, you want to talk about Pookie and Ray Ray fucking up all the black women, and I can't get what. But then Pookie and Ray Ray getting their ass kicked by the cops. Now all of a sudden you say you Pookie and Ray Ray. But then when it comes to women, it's fuck Pookie and Ray Ray. That's the shit we as black men have really got to ask ourselves: what the fuck do we want, and where are we going? Because we just all over the fucking place.
Well, that's why you have these guys. I guess that's why we have those 5 guys or more that we mentioned. We'll be, I think, in probably the next 5 years, we'll be able to corral them all into one room. All of us in one room say, hey, this is this agenda. These are the expectations. Now, I posed a particular question and you answered with, I guess, your take on what seems to, you say, their reaction that caused, their action that caused their reaction is what I'm saying. I mean, what I think I heard, the guys popping out by the cops and just so happened, pow, pow, pow.
But you sitting there doing certain things. Like I tell people, when it comes to a traffic incident, and I work with a lot of people in law enforcement. I cover police departments and sheriff's agencies all the time. Why are you going to your vehicle and you're being detained by the cops? Why are you trying to grab shit? Why are you trying to resist arrest? Yeah. See, now the cops are getting scared because one of my law enforcement friends told me, you got a lot of cops that ain't never been to a fight in the day of their life. So you got these suburbanized men that are out here with the police force, never been hit, never been insulted. So they get scared. First they go to pow, 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 because they got scared.
But how come that? But they don't seem to
they go into fighting and then say, okay, you want to fight? We'll fight too. They'll still arrest you the other day, but now you get these cops who just get scared that just, oh, you slapped me, you hit me, pow, 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 pow. That's where he mentioned the
Dominique.
Yeah.
But Dominique, they only seem to be that scared when around blacks. But you and I have seen videos and Facebook posts where police have, with white folks and others have literally wrestled with them, driven out with the car. And it's what else? It's
because you know why they do that is the other point I'm about to say. Because they know they asked to vote out of office.
Okay, that's why it is.
Black Lives Matter has thrown out of office. Maybe one judge Black Lives Matter has thrown out of office. Maybe one prosecutor that's been thrown out of office since this movement started. Name one. That's all I need. But we can't name one. But when them cops got arrested here in Atlanta, them white folks got on code and threw our district attorney out here in Fulton County.
Yes.
But yet we won't do that. We'll sit here, stop killing us, stop this, you know what? Since
that's
you did
weird.
that, we're going to throw your ass out of office in the next election. We got this. We tied this shit. Your ass is fired. But see, that's why I just said what I said, because, okay, no, we're not serious. We're going to cry. We're going to barge. We're going to beg. We're going to plead. Then WAP comes out or some distraction come out. We don't forget about the issue. Then let's issue. But when you sat there, when that black guy, Paul Howard, our district attorney of 23 years or 27 years, When he put them cops in some handcuffs, them white folks say, "Oh man, Paul, fuck you, you out of here."
Yeah.
They went to the young guy, Christian Wise, told him because he was running, and then you had Bonnie Willis, the woman who won the office, the black woman. Christian Wise Smith was approached. He was just saying, "Hey, Christian, what's going on? You see, you're young, you're energized. You know, you can stay here for the next 30 years. You can retire from district attorney. You know, you ain't got to raise another dime. We're going to take care of this. We need you to make them charges go away. We need to be more aggressive about this. We need to do this, this, and this." Christian, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to railroad people if I become district attorney. Bonnie Willis went to them and said, "Hey, I think what happened to those cops was wrong."
Yeah,
I agree with that, and they got behind her, and she's our new district attorney now.
Ain't that something?
Those white
But
folks
you said it's a black female.
got them a new district attorney. What are we doing? Bitching, moaning, complaining about twerking, complaining about weed, and they won't get their foot off my ass and all that shit. When are we gonna get mad enough to do what they did? Don't tell me, "Oh, we ain't got no money because all you got Jordans on." Don't tell me, "Oh, we don't got nobody who can do it." It's for your brothers out here with law degrees to be a DA. For your brothers out here with law enforcement to be a sheriff. There's for your people with a background to be a judge. When are we gonna do what Dr. Claude Anderson told us to do? But yet you still think, "Oh, if this bitch stops shaking her ass, if she fits my plane, if she pay half the bills, if these white folks just give me a job, it'll be okay." But then you want to sit here and say, "Well, the cops keep killing us." But what are you doing about it besides complaining? "Oh, it's wrong." Okay, we gonna throw the mayor out of office. Who didn't do that about? We gonna throw the sheriff out of office. We gonna throw these judges out of office. Let's have that conversation. When we start throwing people out of office because this shit is happening, they'll wake me up. In the meantime, I don't want to hear it because we're not serious about it. We're about it. It comes up every 4 years, in these presidential years, in these gubernatorial years. All of a sudden, they're one. And when you look at the stats, more white guys get killed by the cops than us. I mean, that's the FBI figures, but you don't see it on the news. But when you understand media manipulation, but again, if we say, "Okay, it's a problem," I'll meet you halfway. It is a problem. What's next?
Okay.
Who are we going to throw out of office? Who are we going to get rid of? When are we going to sit there and do more of this marches and come up with catchy hashtags, then start gender warring in the process? "Oh, black women get shot by the cops too." Now we fight over who gets shot by the cops.
I know, and this is what I want to do.
I'm serious right now. Now we find out who gets shot. Oh, they marched for you. Oh, you trended more than we did, and yada yada yada. So say her name. How about vote? How about vote for her?
Yeah.
What about us?
That's a good one.
Throw these people out of office. But y'all love these Democrats so much. But y'all so mad with that guy in Ferguson who's out to prosecute Darren Wilson. I guarantee he's gonna win his next election. I'll put some money on that. He's gonna win his next election, and y'all ain't gonna do nothing.
Talking about that mayor?
The solicitor that's out there in St. Louis County, who's not gonna prosecute Darren Wilson, who said there was not enough evidence, and the case is not gonna be strong enough. Y'all mad, but y'all not gonna vote him out of office. He's gonna be in office. He's gonna win another term.
Yeah. I want to stop this right here because I think we're having technical difficulties, and I don't want to miss another word of this. So what I want to do is, is allow you to give us your contact information, and we're gonna have to do this again under better technical circumstances because people that is going in and out.
Yeah, so y'all let us know what's going on, whose side the stuff is on. So
they said just mine back and forth. It's going in and out, and so what I want to do is I don't want.
All right, so yeah.
I don't know what to do to fix it. So maybe
yes.
Next time we come on, we'll have better connection.
Or maybe probably be able to upgrade your internet too, because depending on you got that residential internet. Because I had that problem while I was on O'Shea's show.
Okay.
Home internet sucks. So sometimes you may have to look at if you're streaming. I know Obsidian did this for his house where he has his home office. He has got a business quality internet in his house. So that fits a lot of the problems he was having with his stuff. That's why he's a shot off like a rocket now. That's why he used to do pre-recordings. He was like, man, when I streamed it, he used to freeze. But that's just one solution. I don't want to, we can probably go offline and diagnose that and look at that. But thank you everybody for listening. I am Dominique Huff of Dominique Magazine. That is DominiqueMag.com. That is DominiqueMag.com. You can email me at editor@DominiqueMag.com. That's editor@DominiqueMag.com. My telephone number is 404-451-1240. That's 404-451-1240. You can give me a call to talk about Black men's issues. If you're doing a Black men's organization, calls, let's see how we can collaborate, how we can work together. We're in the middle of going to do our fall debut of the website of new content that we want to do. We want to pay homage to Chadwick Boseman. It's definitely a wake-up call about his early death, which y'all know. I talked a lot about Black men having short life expectancies. This is a case study, 42 years old, folks. And those of us who are around that age or close to it, either below it or above it, that should make us all pause for the cause. So,
is that editor at Dominique Mag?
So there's editor at editor@DominiqueMag.com. So I definitely enjoyed this. As you all see, I'm very outside the box with my thinking. I'm more of solutions, like that victimhood shit. Let's talk about the problem, about the misandry. No, that's about what we're going to do about it. Because we're me instead of the lead.
And it's been my pleasure, man, to have you on. And I want to do it again when we have a better connection. But I don't want to miss any of the good stuff that was on its way to come. So I thank you, man, so much. And we'll definitely keep in touch in the future. And I keep checking out your posts on Facebook. And that's DominiqueMag.com, editor@DominiqueMag.com. And to reach him is 404-451-1240. Y'all want to holler at me, man. Those of you check out the playback. So thank you, Dominique, my man, and thank all of you for joining me for another session of a conversation with Rico with this week's guest, Dominique Huff. Peace, y'all.
Y'all have a good one. Thank you, Rico, for this opportunity.
All right on, brother.